Hello guys, how's it going? Jim from Caligula's Horse here. Thanks very much for having me on World of Metal. Glad to be here. Yeah, not a great idea. Not the best timing for that, as it turns out. It was extra challenging because of that, because of course we didn't get to tour on it at all. So the album was released in May 2020, which is really when things kind of went nuts with COVID and really kicked off. And we were actually meant to be in the United States touring on that album at that stage, and it was going to be kind of part of the impact that the album would have had. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. And everything seemed to kind of fall away, and we didn't really have a future anymore. At least that's kind of how I felt. It was quite painful during all of that time. That being said, what's interesting about the album, about Rise Radiant, is that it's an album of kind of overcoming, the kind of themes in it are very much along the lines of kind of, you can do it, we can get through this, you got strength inside you, like all of these kind of themes, things like the importance of family and legacy and all of these things that run through Rise Radiant are exactly the kind of messages that people kind of needed to hear during the lockdowns and the pandemics and things. So interestingly, it was both the worst possible time for an album like that to be released, and also the best time for an album like that to be released. So its emotional impact on people has been something that has been truly wonderful to see. Yeah, that's fascinating. Honestly, it's like, to be perfectly candid, this upcoming tour of Europe that we're doing, which of course includes Comendatio Festival, which is going to be awesome, has nearly fallen apart multiple times for those reasons as well, for a bunch of reasons that I won't get into. But we've managed to salvage it, and Sam and the team have been working really hard to make sure that it happens, despite all of those things. So we're really excited that it's happening at all, let alone that it's going to be as exciting and wonderful that it actually is. But yeah, it is a difficulty. You got to realize that it's like, for Australians, getting to Europe and the United States and everywhere is extraordinarily expensive to begin with. So we're already kind of like behind the eight ball there. But that said, we know what a budget for a tour that leaves us sort of not so great looks like. Yeah, that's nothing surprising to us, I guess. But it's a shame to see bands canceling and pulling out. But I do empathize in a way, because while of course I'm sure they want to come and play for their fans and share music and have that experience in the same way as we do, not everybody is willing to kind of willing or able to be able to make the sacrifices necessary to overcome that. We do have plans. We do have a new album in progress right now. I can't share any details or information about that, but hopefully we'll have some news for that for you guys sometime soon. But so far, I will say that the music is something that is really important to me, and I think I'm very proud of the achievement of this album. So I can't wait to be able to kind of share news and things. So looking forward to that. That's a really interesting question. Excuse me. That's a really interesting question, because it almost sort of goes to the sort of the spirit of how I personally see music and live music in particular. Both. Is it a cop out? Is it a total cop out to say both? No, I think it depends on the band, really. I mean, say for example, you want to go and see like a band like us. Our music is all composed, and our music is about storytelling and emotion and experience. So what we try and do in terms of live performance is we try and not just recreate the sound that's on the record, because of course we want to do that. We try and give as much impact to it as possible. But what we're trying to match most accurately is kind of the emotional experience of that song. So there has to be a great deal of like emotional honesty in the delivery of that song live, which is pretty exhausting to do, to be honest. Like when you're you're on tour and you're playing shows every night, and you have to give that piece of yourself every single night. And it's so vital to me that we do that and be emotionally honest, because I feel like that's a huge part of our music. And the way that it is then extended is that we actually get to celebrate that and create that and almost give the song life and breath with a room full of people who are also celebrating that song with us. And that's where the energy difference lies. But yeah, we do try and create as faithful a version of the song as the recorded version as possible, and then enhance it with the emotion that we're giving, but also that we're sharing and receiving with the audience as well, which is some kind of magic that you can't get anywhere else. But it depends, because like if other bands, like you've come to see us, that's the experience that we're trying to give. But like if you're going to go see like a jazz band or like, or a progressive band that takes after that kind of improvision, I don't speak English. That kind of improvising kind of tone, you wouldn't want to hear something that was note for note, word for word exactly as the album. You want to hear them on their adventure and like doing their thing and going, on tangents and solos and all kinds of stuff. And I've had the experience even of seeing Dream Theater live many, many years ago in Australia. And I remember there were just extended sections of, guitar solos and things that weren't on records and things like that. And that was really cool to see as well. So, I hate this phrase, but like each to their own, I guess. I think it is a bit of a cop-out, but but I love that question. So thank you for that one. That was really cool. It's an interesting question to answer. My expectations for the show is that it's going to be sick. And probably warm and a bit sweaty. So there might be some smells that are either enjoyable or inconvenient for the people in the front row. I'm not sure. That's a terrible answer. No, it's gonna be terrific. Like, we rarely get the opportunity to come and play festivals like this, let alone to travel to Europe and to play in Portugal. And our last experience in Portugal, we were received. This is back in 2018. We were received so well and received so beautifully, and the hospitality and the care and affection that we were shown on that trip was really lovely in Portugal. So we're looking forward to being back at all, let alone for Comendatio Fest, which is going to be really exciting. We also know some of the other bands on the lineup as well. Looking forward to seeing The Ocean if we can, because we toured Australia with them some years ago, and they are just terrific blokes, and with an amazing live show as well. As for our live show, we're going to be bringing a bunch of stuff from Rise Radiant, because we're essentially treating this tour of Europe as the Rise Radiant tour. The tour that we never got to do in 2020, 2021, 2022. TikTok, count them. And now we're finally able to actually celebrate the album. So we're giving it its time of day just this once, before we start touring on new music and things in the near future. So, but yeah, cannot wait. Can't wait to see you guys at Comendatio Music Fest. It's going to be a good time. Thanks for having me.